Coming up next on Newswatch.
Attacks on Brussels, how the country is dealing with the horrors of this morning. Drug overdoses, a group of new laws are aimed at protecting Ohioans from drug-related deaths.
The Ohio men's basketball team still has on their dancing shoes. They're heading to the semifinals after a big win. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Belgium raises its terror threat level to its highest, and surrounding European countries remain on alert. Good evening, I'm Catherine Blaine. Thank you for joining us. This in the wake of two attacks during this morning's rush hour in the capital of Brussels. The Belgian government reports at least 30 people are dead and more than 230 people are injured. The ambassador of Belgium to the U.S. says they could have been planning more attacks.
A lot of heavy weapons have been found, which is an indication that something was perhaps being planned for the next few days, and our people in Brussels knew about that. They were fully aware that they had to act and act swiftly. The second point which arose is that apparently new names have arisen. New names, new people who may be part of a network have come up to the surface.
A U.S. official tells CNN that investigators are looking at the possibility that one of the Brussels airport explosions may have been caused by a bomb inside a suitcase. One blast reportedly occurred at a subway station. Two more in the Brussels airport departure hall. ISIS has claimed responsibility. A firefighter described the scene today as war.
I can't explain. It looked like war. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's really hard. I'm an old firefighter. I have almost 45 years of service, and it's the first time I see something so terrible. I saw many injuries. I saw people dead. I saw everything broken. It's just terrible.
While noting it is still very early, Belgian security sources told CNN it's their working assumption that the network that carried out the Brussels attack is the same that carried out the attacks in Paris. Belgium's prime minister said that the country will observe 3 days of national mourning to honor the victims of the attacks. And a man is in custody after an alleged assault at Bird Arena. James Howard is charged with felony offenses of burglary and having weapons while under disability. Shortly before noon yesterday, police responded to the report of an assault at the arena. Howard allegedly shoved a staff member and attempted to strike him with a closed fist. The suspect later attempted to buy a firearm in Logan and was found in possession of a shotgun for which he was purchasing ammunition. The charges carry a maximum penalty of 13 years in prison and a $25,000 fine. High Street is calm today, but over the weekend, a surge in alcohol-related arrests at Highfest. According to the Ohio University police log from Saturday, there were 25 citations issued in the High Street area, most for public urination. All arrests by the Athens Police Department were alcohol-related. There were 14 nuisance party issues, with one request to have a party shut down. The fest was shut down a little bit after 5. And an alleged scam caller is contacting local residents, claiming to work for the Sheriff's Department. According to the Athens Messenger, the Athens County Sheriff's Office received 18 reports yesterday of the scam calls. Anyone receiving one of these calls should contact the Sheriff's Office and not share their information with the caller. Scientists say Ohio needs to target anti-overdose interventions in 8 counties. These areas account for 2 of every 3 overdose deaths from the painkiller fentanyl. There were 502 fentanyl-related deaths in 2014, up from 84 the year before. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say addicts should have access to a variety of drug overdose prevention services. This includes clean needles when allowed by local police. The U.S. FDA is requiring new warning labels for opioid prescription medications. The labels will warn consumers about the serious risks of misuse, abuse, addiction, overdose, and death. A black box warning, the most severe warning label there is, will be required on immediate release formulations. Additional safety labeling changes will also be required. According to the CDC, more than 40 Americans die each day from prescription opioid overdose. A group hoping to put the marijuana issue on November's ballot has to try again. Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine rejected the original petition. He wants the language in the petition to be revised and resubmitted by Friday. 1,000 signatures of registered voters will be needed before the petition can be submitted and reviewed by DeWine. The proposed amendment would give adults the right to grow medical marijuana and industrial hemp. It would also give the state the right to tax and regulate commercial production. The marijuana amendment may go up in flames, but a new bill will light up the club scene in Ohio. A bill that was introduced this week would allow smoking in cigar clubs and other private groups, even if the club is next to other buildings. Representatives with the American Lung Association, American Heart Association, and American Cancer Society want to clear the air, saying there's no need to change the current law. And while one group wants to lessen the smoking rules, another group wants to boost the smoking age. A panel studying Ohio's infant mortality program recommends that the state lawmakers increase the tobacco tax and boost the tobacco buying age to 21. The ideas were included in a report that leaders of the Ohio Commission on the Infant Mortality released today. The commission other recommendations include banning the sale of crib bumpers, more frequent data sharing among agencies, and improved cultural competency among healthcare providers. Ohio's infant mortality rate has been among the worst in the nation.
Good evening. Welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Ananda Harris. Warm temperatures finally returned to the region today after a chilly weekend. Though we saw a beautiful day today, dry conditions combined with gusty winds put much of the region at risk for fire danger. Because of this, many of the southeast counties are under a red flag warning until 9 p.m. Red flag warnings mean that there is an enhanced risk for fire danger, so take extra precaution if you're out enjoying the nice weather with a cookout or bonfire. And of course, if you do spot a fire, call 911 immediately. We will see that fire danger drop off, though, as we go into the night and winds begin to calm down a little. Nighttime lows all in the mid-40s across the region, and there's no rain expected tonight. However, we will see clouds increase throughout the night and hang around into overnight. Back to you, Catherine.
All right, well, thank you so much, Ananda. And it's time for property owners to pay up. Athens property owners' latest bill comes from the City of Athens. This is after City Council passed a special assessment for repairing sidewalks. The city told residents last spring the repairs would be made and that homeowners would have to foot the bill. New concrete sidewalks on parts of Congress show the repairs. And some renters on Congress Street told WEB they're nervous rent might increase in order to offset the cost of sidewalks. Athens City Council has approved the use of $500,000 toward the design and engineering of a new city pool. The project is set to be done within the next few months. The Arts, Parks and Recreation Department has been testing the pool's liner since last week to see if it can hold water. Councilman Kent Butler said the city is hoping the pool will reopen this summer.
And we were updated by the assistant to Arts, Parks and Recreation, Andrew Cheeky. And so he's still doing some digging and research to find out whether or not the lining of the pool can be successfully patched. So I think it's fair to say there's no new news on that, other than we're keeping our fingers crossed.
There is no timeline on when the decision will be made. And Ted Strickland has some big name support behind a Senate race. Find out who's helping the former governor raise money for his campaign. And today marks the end of President Obama's historic trip to Cuba. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
President Obama just wrapped up his historic trip to Cuba, where he continued to push for improved relations and told President Castro he does not need to fear the U.S. Scott McLean has the story from Havana.
I have come here to bury the last remnant of the Cold War in the Americas.
In a speech before leaving Cuba, President Obama's message was clear. The future between the United States and Cuba is bright, but not without challenges.
In many ways, the United States and Cuba are like two brothers who've been estranged for many years, even as we share the same blood.
He urged Congress to end the 54-year-old embargo and delivered this message directly to President Raul Castro.
You do not need to fear a threat from the United States. And given your commitment to Cuba's sovereignty and self-determination, I am also confident that you need not fear the different voices of the Cuban people and their capacity to speak and assemble and vote for their leaders.
Afterwards, President Obama met with a handful of Cuban dissidents who have fought for the freedoms Obama is promoting.
All of the individuals around this table have shown extraordinary courage. They have spoken out on behalf of the issues that they care deeply about.
At the start of his speech, the president took a brief moment to offer condolences regarding the terrorist attacks in Brussels.
We will do whatever is necessary to support our friend and ally Belgium in bringing to justice those who are responsible.
The president capped off his trip with an exhibition baseball game between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Cuban national team, a symbol of the common ground shared by the two former enemies. In Havana, Cuba, I'm Scott McLean.
Cuban President Raul Castro was at the airport to see President Barack Obama off. When the trip began, Castro did not greet Air Force One. Some took this as a snub. The duel for delegates hit the Rocky Mountains and the desert today. Western Tuesday sees Republicans voting in Arizona's primaries and Utah's caucuses. And Democrats Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are squaring off in those two states as well as Idaho's caucuses. With a lead in the delegates' race, Trump is favored nationally among Republicans. A poll Monday night showed 47% of Republicans across the country support Trump, compared to 31% for Cruz and 17% for Kasich. More TV ads are airing in the race for the U.S. Senate seat in Ohio. Starting today, the new Senate Majority PAC is putting out 30-second spots across the state. The group supports Democrat Ted Strickland. The ad are targeting Republican Senator Rob Portman, mainly for his support of NAFTA trade deals. The ads are airing on both broadcast and cable stations. Vice President Joe Biden is helping to raise money for Strickland and was at a fundraiser in Cincinnati this morning. No word on how much the vice president helped to raise. And led by Strickland's campaign, people around Ohio are telling Senator Rob Portman to, quote, do his job. This is part of the Do Your Job campaign. The campaign around the country is targeting Republican senators who oppose confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Merrick Garland. The protesters even offered to enroll the lawmakers in a community college civics course. The gesture is inspired in part by author Harper Lee, who offered to enroll a school board in the first grade after the board sought to ban To Kill a Mockingbird. Now on Wall Street today, the market closed mostly lower as airlines, cruise companies, and travel booking sites fell following the attacks in Belgium. Here's a look at some stocks of local interest. One restaurant chain is trying to donate 100% of its unused food to the hungry. That story still ahead.
We saw beautiful weather today, but is it here to stay? And of course in Ohio we know you can't have spring without a little rain. All that plus your extended forecast coming up on Newswatch.
Body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Ananda Harris. Currently in Athens, it is 64 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Our winds are out of the south, it's 17 miles per hour. That combined with our low relative humidity of 21% has put Athens at risk for fires and is under a red flag warning until 9 p.m. Today, temperatures were finally a little bit warmer. We've been below average the past few days, but today we are at 63 degrees, so right around normal for the high for this time of year. We were still a little chilly for this morning at the low of 28 degrees. And here's our precipcast showing us high pressure over to our east, which has been bringing warm air up from the south, giving us these nice temperatures today. And we'll stay pretty clear overnight, but as we head into tomorrow, we'll start to see this low pressure system advancing eastward, which should bring us some showers by Friday. Across the region, temperatures are all in the low to mid 60s. 60 degrees up in Columbus, 65 over in Ripley, and our warmest 67 down in Ironton. And as we go overnight, we will cool down pretty quickly, 47 degrees by 4 a.m. Clouds will start to increase throughout the region, and we'll get down to 44 degrees tonight. Those winds will die down a little bit, but may come back up tomorrow. And overnight across the region, temperatures will all be about the same as Athens, 44 degrees in Athens again, 47 up in Columbus, and 45 over in Ripley. Tomorrow morning will be still a little bit on the chilly side, 47 our bus stop temperature. We will have dry conditions though, so you won't have to worry about sending those kids out in the rain. And we'll continue to warm up as we go through the day, 66 degrees by 4 p.m., and we'll see those clouds start to break up, giving us mostly sunny skies. Across the region tomorrow, highs will all be pretty nice, 64 up in the capital of Columbus, 67 over in Ripley, and getting up all the way to 71 in Ironton. And for our 7-day, we will see a chance for rain come into the region on Thursday as we see a cold front start to approach. That cold front will drop temperatures down all the way to the upper 40s by Friday. Luckily for us, we will see temperatures start to warm back up as we go through the weekend. However, on Sunday late into the night, we'll start to see another cold front move in, so go out and enjoy that warm weather while you can. It won't be as bad as the first one though. Our temperatures will only drop down to about 56 degrees on Monday. We'll still have that chance for rain though, so it'll feel a little bit on the chilly side. And as we move into Tuesday, we'll start to see high pressure build back up in the region, high 61 of Tuesday, and we'll see dry conditions throughout part of the week. Over to you, Catherine.
All right, well, thank you so much, Ananda. The U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that 30 to 40% of Americans' food supply is wasted. At the same time, in 2014, 48.1 million Americans at some point during that year were unable or unsure where to get their next meal. Starbucks wants to help this problem and donate all of its leftover food from its U.S. locations. The company says that it will aim to contribute 100% of its leftover food to Feeding America, which runs a national network of food banks. Starbucks plans to give out 5 million meals this year.
Up next in sports, the Ohio men's basketball team is heading to the Final Four in the College Basketball Invitational. They face Morehead State tomorrow in the Convo. And the Ohio women's basketball team is having their longest postseason run in program history, and I will give you the Bobcat who is about to break a record in the NCAA.
Really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back, I'm Danny Dean. While it might not be the NCAA tournament, the Bobcats proved the CBI can be just as exciting. Last night, the Cats managed a 25-2 run over the final minutes to pull off a 72-67 victory over UNC Greensboro. Ohio also stopped 11 of UNCG's final 13 possessions, and Jerron Simmons had a night. He broke the MAC single-season assist record. He now has 268, 8 of those which came last night. He also led the team in scoring with 19 points. The Cats now move on to the Final Four for the first time, and they will face Morehead State tomorrow night. Tip-off is set for 7 in the Convo. The women's team also keep dancing in the postseason. The next step for the Bobcats is round 16 of the Women's National Invitational Tournament. The ladies hit the road for Philadelphia on Thursday to face the Temple Owls at 7 p.m. And Sunday marked the first time the Bobcats have won a postseason game in program history. So obviously making it to the Sweet 16 is the team's longest run in the postseason. So keep an eye out for Kiana Black. She is just 1 3-pointer away from the NCAA single-season record. Ohio golf, they really got into the swing of things at the Kings Mills Intercollegiate Tournament. Unfortunately, they didn't get to ride any roller coasters, but they improved and moved up 1 spot for 9th place. My guess is they'd rather go up in the tournament than go to KI anyway. But the big improvements they're really seeing in Ben Sattler, Ty Harriet, and Mike Engelman. Their scores dramatically better in the second round. The most notably improved is Sattler. He moved up 22 spots to tie for 73rd. Moving over to Ohio softball, the Lady Cats are currently battling to split a doubleheader at Marshall. The Thundering Herd ended the first game in 6 innings, holding the Cats scoreless. Marshall crossed the plate 5 times in the first to take an early lead. However, Ohio ended that. The Lady Cats kicked off Game 2 with an early run. Michaela Cooper hit a grounder that allowed Deanna Cole to head home. The game is currently in the final stretch. And spring has sprung, so you know that means baseball. After a weekend on the road, the Bobcats get to settle down at home. The team is back at Bob Wren after taking a weekend series from Purdue with 2 wins. Tonight, the Bobcats host Youngstown State to open a 5-game homestand. Right-handed pitcher Nick Camarada will take them out for Ohio, and the game is currently underway. First pitch was at 6 p.m. While the Cats are at home, the Tampa Bay Rays are playing on the road in Cuba. It's only the second time a Major League team has visited Cuba since 1959. The Rays are the first MLB team to visit the country since 1999. Back then, the Orioles topped the Cuban national team 3-2, and this time it was a similar ending. The Rays beat Cuba 4-1. An RBI and a home run by James Lonnie helped the Rays early on. And President Obama was in attendance at the game with his family, and they even got to meet Derek Jeter. Indian Wells CEO Raymond Moore resigns after his sexist and offensive comments drew outrage. The resignation comes 1 day after Moore said that women tennis players ride on the coattails of men. He went on to comment that the attractiveness of female players and told them to be thankful that men have led the way in tennis. Moore apologized in a written statement for his remarks, but the damage has already been done. And you know, Catherine, this is really a classic think before you speak case, but you know, I really love what Serena Williams fired back at him. She said the women are just as dominant in the game.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Danny. And the sound of an Easter egg designed specially for blind children, it's part of a special project in California designed to let visually impaired kids participate in some spring holiday fun. They can't use their eyes, so they use their ears. Children honed in on the beeping to find the eggs, which were exchanged for treats. Money for the beeping eggs was provided by local businesses. The Bakersfield Police Department says they'd like to do the same for visually impaired children next year and hope the event starts a tradition.
In Athens, we will see things start to cool down on Friday at 49 degrees as a cold front moves in. As we go through the weekend, though, we will see things warm up with a chance for rain.
All right, well, thank you so much. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Catherine Blaine. Stay tuned in. Coming up next is the PBS NewsHour. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime you need at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.